I'm Lawrence Hughes, the Chief Executive of Fairshares. Fairshares is a hub of time banks operating across Gloucestershire and Warwickshire. Time banking is a model of volunteering that is two-way. So for every hour that an individual puts in volunteering in the community, they earn a time credit, and with that time credit they can then buy services back from the pool of time bankers across the county. The funding from the volunteering fund helped us set up a project called Rest Assured. The idea of Rest Assured is to support people coming out of hospital or following an accident. So we will send volunteers in for a couple of weeks or so just to lend a hand with practical things. It's non-medical, so it can be anything from doing a bit of shopping to walking dogs to whatever they need. So the idea is that through sending volunteers in to support people, they get on with their recovery and not worry about some of the practical issues. The support package that we had from the volunteering fund brought in a support consultant, and I was initially very anxious about this because consultants that we'd had in the past tend to just produce pages of notes about things that we need to address and then disappear, leaving me with no resource in order to actually deal with those issues. This, however, proved to be somewhat different. I was told it was going to be this organisational diagnostic tool that the consultant was going to use. So I was sort of running through my head, what is it I think where we're weak, what sort of things is he likely to pick up? Being a fairly small organisation without sort of much support here, I naturally sort of get anxious from time to time about, are there any areas that we're failing in? And what the consultant picked up was in fact very reassuring, because the areas where I knew we needed to do some development was exactly what he'd picked up. When the support consultant was working on the organisational diagnostic tool with me, he asked me to bring in trustees and members of staff. One of the members of staff that came in was Josh.
My name's Josh Freeman. I'm a time broker for Fairshares. I've been working for Fairshares for 2 years now. As a time broker, I'm kind of tasked with the day-to-day running and creating of assignments and managing the volunteers that do them. The action learning networks I attended were really useful for me. They provided a really good toolkit and ideas about how to take a project right from creating it and looking at the bid right the way through to sustainability and the exit strategies that come with that. Through that I've learned how to better deal with volunteers and other stakeholders involved in the project.
I think on 2 of the occasions I had phone calls back following the training sessions complimenting Josh on his ability. Now, he's only just 21, so it was really reassuring that a young man that we had recruited through the Future Jobs Fund, who'd been out of work for a very long time, we managed to offer him a permanent job because of the volunteering fund. And the additional training that he'd had from the ALN has now put him in the position that he's now highly respected and is a very coherent young man who fully understands all the principles of time banking.
Yeah, we get on really well, Josh. Yeah, he's down to earth guy, and he's with it, and he's clued up, and he knows this stuff. So, and he's prepared to put himself out a little bit for other people.
If I look back on myself a couple of years ago, I don't think I could have foreseen myself working in this sort of work. I had no idea what I wanted to do when I left school, but what this has really done is really shaped my career path, and I'm really enjoying working within this sector and actually being able to see making a difference in someone's life. And I think volunteering is an excellent way for me personally to meet people, and also something that I'd like to invest quite a lot of my time and my career into.
The other thing that the support consultant did for us is that after he'd completed the organisational diagnostic tool, he went through with me to look at our strategic plan. And the outcome of that is that he did identify sort of the lack of resource, the lack of support that I actually have here in the organisation. And that paper was put to my trustees. He also worked with me on to support various bid applications we were making. And I'm pleased to say a major bid did come through. And the outcome of that now is that I will be recruiting very shortly 3 managers to bring that level of resource in. If that piece of strategic development hadn't been looked at with the support consultant, I wouldn't be in the place that we are now. Going back to the beginning of the year, the end of 2011 even, all of my staff were under notice of redundancy and short working. So what's happened in these last few months is a complete reversal of our position.